we're going to be talking about links, inbound links and outbound links. And so, but we're going to be talking about this in context of the Google SEO Starter Guide, right? Yes, Google does have a starter guide, and we've been doing a series explaining to local business owners about how to understand this guide from that perspective. So I'm Stephen Lau.
And I'm Tahmid Jawad.
I'm going to talk about links. So links is basically a definition of your relationship, right? That's how Google knows or starts to define who are your friends and who are not your friends online. So, but let's start off first with links inside your website.
Yeah. So mainly there are two types of links, right?
Yes.
So the internal links and the external links. So
yes.
Internal links are the links that sits within your website. So maybe it's linking to an internal page from your home page, or maybe it's linking to the contact page, or if you have an appointment page or testimonial page, it can link to those pages as well.
That's right.
And also not just those pages, you can utilize the targeted keywords within your website to link to particular pages within your website so that you can take advantage.
That is one of the things that Google says. It says avoid using generic copy, like learn more, click here, that kind of stuff when you're linking to different pages, because you're trying to give Google the context about what that page is that you're being driven to.
Right, and you're kind of guiding Google within your website. Like when any search engine or the users coming to your website for the first time, your internal links can be the mechanism, the way you're guiding either the search engine or your users.
That's right. I might be reading some copy.
Yep.
And then if I come across, Invisalign or braces with respect to dentistry, I might decide to go to that page just reading midway because that's more relevant to me. So rather than just using the navigation at the top or whatever, the navigation itself can exist within the content. But if I give a little bit of context for the user and also the search engine, it's a lot more valuable. The other thing too is to make sure your link doesn't look like your other text. So maybe it has a line in it, maybe it's a different color. Google says to make them stand out a little bit more. Right?
So that the user can easily find the link.
That's right. And then don't necessarily link with like a whole sentence. Don't be excessive with what you're linking out to, right? And also don't be excessive with the number of links. Yeah,
that's also important, because then it's like it's too obvious that you're trying to get benefit of just the internal links. It has to flow naturally within your website, right?
Like if I put 100 links on one page, that's even bad for the user, because now the user has so much choice, they don't know where to go. And if it's the first time to your website, it doesn't know how to make heads or tails out of 100 links that it doesn't even know.
Exactly.
Right? Which means that also goes back to the content portion that we talked about already, is to divide it up so that you have a structure there, so that you're not always using excessive amount of links. Right? So, and then another thing too is all pages linking to all pages. Right. You got to stop that behavior. So that's a very common element of that is your main menu. It's like I want to put all the pages within my main menu. Like roll over it drops down. I roll over that, it goes on to a tertiary menu. Get rid of that.
Sometimes the menu is even too long. People can't even read the whole menu.
Yes, it's like I think the argument that I get back from a lot of our clients is that, well, I want to put everything there so that I don't miss them, right? And so that's not very good, because now you're even confusing people who are actually looking to navigate properly.
And a good way to utilize that is also using sidebar. So maybe it's not in the main menu, but when they're going to a relevant page, you can put the relevant sidebar on the right side or the left side so that people can navigate through the related pages.
Okay, exactly. So now let's talk about outbound links. Outbound links. It's like, so outbound links is a really interesting method here. Of course, if you have a relationship, say with a manufacturer, you're going to link out to them, maybe with a logo or whatnot, right? But it's important to know that Google's also trying to define who you are by who you link to.
Exactly.
Right? And so it wants to know what is the community that you deal with, right? And through those affiliations, it's going to judge whether your website is, or whether you are a renovator or whether you're a dentist or whatnot.
And it's good for you if you're linking to your local business association, or if you have association with charities, you can link them to as well, or maybe your partners. It's fine to link them. So one of the question I had in my mind is, so let's just say if you're linking a website at some point of time and that business is like very reputed, right? But later on something happens to that business, they screw up somehow.
And they become bad business.
They become bad and they have now bad reputation online.
And the link is on your website.
And the link is on your website.
Well, I think it probably, my opinion, is probably like real business, you know. So you're dealing with a very good company initially, but then they become a bad company. And ultimately you end that relationship, right? So the same thing, someone's got to curate your website. You have to curate your website. So if you're linking to a bad company now, ultimately you need to remove that link because you don't want to be affiliated.
So at the end of the day, you are the responsible authority here to kind of control what's on your website.
Of course.
Who are you linking with?
You're responsible for what's on your website. That's the bottom line.
Okay.
Right. So in summary, I guess with links, Google values links inside your website and who you link to. You know, and obviously there's some rules around that, which are very, very important. I think number one in my mind anyways is do not have all pages linking to all pages, right? Because you're creating a hierarchy for Google, which we've already covered in a previous topic in the search engine optimization guide, right? But it also deals with links, you know. And then the second thing too is just be careful who you link to, right? Because that's how Google kind of is defining where you exist in the overall scheme of your own industry.
Yeah, and also check on a regular basis if you're linking to someone you shouldn't be.
That's correct. That's correct. So if you want to learn more about the basics of linking, or who you link to, or the best strategy to create links, make sure to drop us a line. You know, our information is located below. And again, everything that we're covering here is in context of the Google SEO Starter Guide. And that's where you learn directly from Google what you have to do for your local business. So I'm Stephen Lau, signing off.
And I'm Tahmid Jawad, signing off.
If you like this video, please share,
like,
and subscribe to our channel.